Hello, hello, hello.
Hello, peeps.
This is Diane Breaux, your friendly realtor team.
Now with the Pickle Lady team, she's the Prescott Pickle Lady.
That's right. I'm here in Prescott, Arizona, coming to you live. And today we're going to talk about estimating value.
Estimating value of the home.
Yep.
Estimating the value of a home is one of those things that everyone thinks they know how to do.
Right.
It seems really simple and they just jump into it. It's a lot more complicated than you would think.
Mm-hmm. You can't just go by, oh, well, my neighbor sold their house for $1 million, so I'm going to get $1 million. Not necessarily
Not necessarily.
Depending on, is your neighbor on your side of the street? Does your neighbor have the same view you have?
Yes.
Does your neighbor have a house that's been recently updated? Does your neighbor have a nice flat yard? There's a lot of, you can't compare two houses next door to each other. It might be apples to oranges.
Yes.
So it's very important when you comp a property to do apples to apples.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the big things people forget square footage.
Yes,
You
huge.
know, oh, yeah, that one sold for $1.5 million. Yeah, it's twice the size of your house.
Yes, so your house is 2,000 square feet. You can't command $1.5 million when the other one was 4,000 square feet.
Now, some of the automated estimating tools like Zillow, there are a whole bunch of them. There's one that we use that is only realtors are allowed to use it. They can do a pretty good job of at least giving you a range, make sure you're in the right ballpark. But particularly in Prescott, it is really hard to comp houses. You could have one house and right next door it is a house that's got a much better view because it's a little higher. You really have to know the neighborhood. You really have to know the homes. You really have to be very clever about picking comps. And you certainly have to adjust for the square footage. You have to adjust for how recently the home has been remodeled or updated. There's a lot to it. And just understand that and understand that real estate agents do this all the time. It's
really a science. It's not as easy as it appears. Even the automated system gives you just a range.
It'll give you a range.
And you
the
have
good
to
ones
have,
will give you a range. If it doesn't give you a range, it's not a good system.
That's right.
Yeah.
So, the standard realtor, it gives you a range. We take the range, but then we hone it in.
Yes.
So you need to have a really good agent who's very familiar with all of the neighborhoods and the areas, and who can even project out, like they may use a comp that's 5 years old, but you need an agent who can take that comp and price it out as to what it would go in today's
terms.
And so as a layperson, this can get a little overwhelming and confusing. And some people will use a comp from a totally different neighborhood.
Or a different subdivision.
Or even,
We had a professional appraiser come up from Phoenix.
Yes.
This is the bane of our existence, right?
True.
So particularly during COVID, it was hard to get estimates done or appraisals done. And so they would call up appraisers from Phoenix. And these guys do not know these neighborhoods. They do not know these subdivisions.
Right.
So he used comps from a subdivision, which is really an entry-level subdivision, to price luxury homes that were in the subdivision next to it.
And he was off by $200,000.
$200,000. I'm like, yeah, I mean,
no, sir.
In his defense, it was within a quarter mile.
Yes.
But you have to know the neighborhoods. It's not just math. It's not just arithmetic.
It's really a science.
It is. It's not just, the price per square and you multiply, but it's more to it than that.
There's a lot more to it. You have to look at views. Some homes on one side of the street have no views. The homes across the street may have amazing views. Well, guess what? The ones across the street are going to have a higher price.
Yes.
If you're on the other side and you're like, well, they got $1.5 million, why can't I? Because you don't have $1 million view.
Yeah.
So you can't use that as an accurate comp.
Yes.
And it could also be that house has been completely redone from the studs all the way up to the roof.
Yeah.
And your house is severely dated and needs to be, updated and stuff.
Yeah.
You can't compare those two. It's not a good comp. So you really need to make sure you get a good professional who understands the neighborhoods, the homes, the prices of the homes, and can adjust accordingly, not just based on one of those easy programs that gives you a range.
Yeah. And
You
a
need
lot of
to,
times people lie with statistics. I think there are books on how to lie with statistics.
ooh,
So sellers will pick, comps that show really high price per square foot. Well, like a home that's small, like let's say 1,600 square feet. That home is going to be very high per square foot. The higher the square footage, the less it's going to be per square foot. And it's just because you're amortizing the lot over the size of the home.
so smaller homes will always have a higher price
Higher
per
price per
square
square
foot.
foot. So you have to adjust for that.
So all of that, it's a science, my
And
friends.
people,
It's,
sellers will pick comps to make their homes seem worth more than they are. Some agents will do that. Buyers will do the same thing, making the house seem really, really cheap. When we estimate the value of a home, we do it unbiased. We do it as unbiased as we can be. This is what the numbers are saying. With our sellers, we'll say, if you want more than that, there are things we can do to try to get more than it's worth, that the comps are telling me this,
numbers don't lie, friends.
And we've had
And
sellers. We had a very good friend of ours. We sold their house, and we asked him, how much do you think your home is worth? He said, I'd be happy to get $850,000. We said, we're going to sell your home for $1 million.
because it's worth more.
It's worth so
After we did the comps. So don't try to do this on your own.
Yeah, we don't try to get sellers to lower their price by using statistics against them, and we don't try to get buyers to pay more than it's worth by using statistics.
We try to price it.
We do it unbiased.
Unbiased,
Yeah.
right where it should be. We don't overprice, we don't underprice.
Yeah.
Sell it fair, and chances are it'll conclude fairly quickly
Yeah.
for you. So anyway, keep that in mind for some of you who are thinking, I think I'll just do this myself, or I'll figure this out. There's a lot to this, a lot
Yeah, a
more
lot
than you
to
would
it.
ever imagine.
And the stakes are high.
Yes.
The median price of a home in the city of Prescott at this point is $650,000. You want that priced well. Yeah,
You want to price well.
right.
This is very important.
Yeah.
This is a big part of your assets, and so you want to make sure you don't undersell, and you want to make sure you don't overprice it and it gets stale and you
Yeah.
just lose time on market.
Yeah.
So it's very important to have a professional help you and guide you every step of the way and give you the right price.
Yeah.
So that is it for estimating value. If you would like us to come and estimate your value,
Glad to do it for you.
feel free to give us a
Yeah,
call.
they have any number of things on our website. You can request it or just give us a call.
Yes, happy to help you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Take care. Bye.
Bye.